It's a combination that you see with a Warlock, not too often. But again, if you can get that big team fight, the Haunt's out, dispersion's all over the place, Spectre illusions are all over the place, getting their right-click damage off. It does work out well, it's just a bit slow. And the key thing here is slow. Your Spectre takes a while to come online, and FNATIC's draft from minute 0 was already aggressive. They pick up that Timber Saw as well, which just ties it in perfectly.
I love it.
You've got all these heroes that come online fast. Your response, your control from RNG isn't going to be great. You're going to be riding off the back of Setsu and Flyby to get their early itemization up, and even then when it comes down to it, FNATIC, no matter what, they're going to have 3 heroes that can push fast. Every single time. They're going to have Abed and that Timbersaw, who's going to be a menace to deal with as the Spectre if you're going to be facing that lane matchup. And, FNATIC does have a bit of a timer in that sense, that these heroes do taper off, especially that Wraith King and Timbersaw. They really taper off after some time. But they are so aggressive early on that I can't really see RNG finding that space. I mean, they could make it happen, but the conditions to find that farm is much harder to meet compared to FNATIC finding that early aggression. Their heroes are just built for it.
Oh yeah, they are. I was kind of hoping it was an Ice Timbersaw coming out, but of course he is back on the Sand King, so Abed takes over the Timber. Mid lane though, he is going to be up against Setsu, it looks like, on the TA. So that could be a bit problematic. I mean, it's not the hardest matchup for the Timbersaw, but at the same time, you do get a lot more value out of that bonus attack damage that you get out of the refraction, because you don't really have to stack up those reactive armors by continuously right-clicking, though of course Abed can abuse the creeps to get those reactive armor stacks. I don't know, this draft from Raw Never Give Up, it does scare me a bit for their sake. Of course, if they do go super late game, they do make it to that point, you've got the Spectre to rely on, who really doesn't lose late game. But how do you get to that point with this draft? Like, there's just so much pressure on Flyby and Setsu to get a lot of work done throughout the mid-game.
There really is. It's just hanging in the back of these momentum heroes, getting that good start. And I don't know why this gets...
Because they're hilarious, John.
They are. But RNG's draft, back to that point, it is relying a lot on these heroes to find that momentum. Now, we have seen TAs, if they have a bad time in the jungle, I mean, in the lane, they can always dip back to the jungle, get their farm that way, be online and be a menace. The issue is, again, consider FNATIC's draft. You have a Nature's Prophet, Jabs. He's going to be scouting at that jungle with the treants every single time. He's going to be roaming around. It's very easy for him to roam around early on. So you're never going to be sure if that jungle is going to be completely safe on the side of RNG. And then your 2 other cores, your Spectre, your Night Stalker. These are both great cores. The Spectre really wound up by the Haunt cooldown. You're going to have to play around that. And, of course, its item build-up. The Night Stalker around that nighttime. But if you look at FNATIC, again, their heroes have no conditions for their aggression. Every time they have the mana and HP, they're just going to go at it. They don't need to wait for big teamfight cooldowns. They don't need to wait for items to really come out. They just need a few levels.
Nice Wraithfire blast coming out from MP, though LandM will be able to secure that bot banner rune for himself. FNATIC will claim the 2 top banner runes for themselves as well. So a very even start. Tips coming out again from LandM and Ice. Just looking at this top lane with Monet and Arfu. I mean, it's going to be a hard lane, John. You've got that Spectre available at the top lane, but you've got a position for Leshrac being played by DJ, as well as Ice's Sand King. With that Sandstorm abuse, it's going to be very hard for Monet to be able to walk in and be able to get those last hits off, because he's going to have to cop damage every time. Not to mention, once the Burrow Strike connects, you're going to have that follow-up Split Earth. In fact, we might see it right now, and it's going to be some very early harassment coming up from Monet. But later on, once you've got a couple more levels up in this duo from FNATIC, how do you actually win this lane out if you're the Spectre?
You just can't. Your lane combination with that Bane is much more safe. It's much more about keeping you alive than it is finding these early kills. So all you can really hope for is that they'll go for the Bane instead. They'll go for Afu. And you, Monet on the Spectre, are not going to be contested. Now that's a bit of an optimistic dream, but it certainly can happen as Afu plays far forward enough.
All lanes being played very aggressively by FNATIC so far. I'm not sure if you've had a look at the mid lane quite yet, John, but Abed has been super aggressive. Setsu forced to use the salve up very early on. And it's just that whirling death span coming out from Abed. Just continuously making Setsu's life a living hell, and he continues to have to use that refraction early on, but, well, bot lane, Lan M may actually end up dying here on the Warlock, though he will be able to get away flyby, ensuring he is safe. Top lane Ice 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 gonna be okay as well. DJ still around on the left track, but as I was saying, that mid lane, like Setsu, he can't really do anything. Once he's out of mana, he can't refract, and that makes it so he can't walk forward to get those last hits.
The same can be said about Abido. Like, when he runs out of mana as well, he's not going to be able to harass with Whirling Death. He does have better innate regeneration with reactive armor. So in the end, he's still going to win out over Setsu.
Fu barely getting out of the top lane alive, and now they'll go for a Nightmare play onto DJ. But you don't have the damage to follow up on. Like, you haven't got a stun, you haven't got a really high damage right-click hero in Monet either. Not yet anyway. That's another thing, right, for FNATIC up at this top lane, is the kill potential just isn't there from RNG to really be afraid about.
No, it's definitely not. Again, with a lane support like the Bane and a lane core like the Spectre, there's really not much you can expect here. It's about keeping Monet alive, hoping the Spectre finds farm, and so far he has been. 15, 16-1 now, compared to Ice 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 at 5-1. Definitely a different story from Game 1. And Monet is definitely having the better time of it at this point.
Well, MP having almost as good of a time on the Wraith King. He's 15 last hits, 4 denies. Lan M trying his best to shut him down on that Warlock. Flyby probably just going to be focused on getting those levels up for himself. Jab's going to harass him a bit on that Nature's Prophet, but not really going to be able to threaten his life at all either. Meanwhile, back to that mid lane. Setsu and Abed pretty much even in terms of last hits. The Setsu has had to buy a lot more regen than Abed has so far, though, so you'd imagine Abed is higher in net worth. Jabs actually ends up finding the kill bot lane into Lan M. I didn't quite catch that one, John. I'm sure it was just a Wraithfire blast into the skeletons, though, and it looks like it was. Meanwhile, top lane, looks like Fu may also end up going down. DJ just blocking the way, and they will find the kill. They don't even bother trying for Monet either on the Spectre.
It's really not paying off for RNG in these lanes. Again, they can't apply too much pressure with the dual lanes they have. And you can't really leave either hero alone to get a tri-lane going to try to find some momentum for yourself. You can't leave the Spectre alone, of course. Monet is going to need some support to farm safely. You can't leave Flyby alone either, because a Night Stalker at daytime is really just kind of a... It's a non-factor. It's a mega creep of some sort, you know, it's just not that scary until nighttime hits. So you can't really afford to leave these heroes alone, which is costing them. They're not finding anything in these lanes, and FNATIC is just finding that early aggression once more.
Well, Ice 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 as well. Top lane getting started with the Sandstorm, and this is that point where you'll probably start to see Monet dropping off in last hits a bit. Fu, got to be very careful as well not to get caught out by the Burrow Strike available from Ice Ice Ice. Does have the Mango to be used for that mana. Looks like they won't bother trying to go for it quite yet. Boundary Runes are, of course, going to be up. Jabs actually managed to swipe the one down to the bot lane. With that, Flyby going to try and come in and punish, though there will be a Wraithfire Blast from MP. And now MP making the chase. There are some nice blocks from those Treants. Flyby will just run the other way, and he was in the nighttime, so he can run rather quickly. Although, mid lane, Setsu being chased down, Abed, Jab's going to both be there. Now the Treant's coming down as well. No block being there, though, so Jabs won't be able to help with the kill. And now the rest of RNG moving in. Who do they aim for, though? Abed is a much harder target than Jabs will be, and they might just go for Jabs instead. Lan M certainly trying to, and Flyby doesn't have the Void available to throw out. So with that, they do rotate and protect Setsu, but that's pretty much all they get done.
It feels like a lot of wasted time, even if they manage to save that TA. It still feels like a rather inefficient use of time right now. It's the first night, Flyby. You tend to see these Night Stalkers at first night nowadays just farm up. And he's already 2 levels behind this Wraith King. So it's not a great story so far for Flyby in this offlane.
MP, top of the last hits as well. 35 last hits, 9 denies. Closely followed by Monet, of course, on the Spectre. So he's still going okay at the top lane, though it does look like they do make a gank attempt now. It is going to be on Fu again, but this is just a much easier target to go for, because there's nobody really to save Fu if they do jump him. With that, you do see the rotation now from Jabs, and they are going to try for Monet. Can they catch him out? More body blocks. The dagger does come out, but they got the double stun off. And with that, Monet, though, still going to be able to run out of there safely. It does look like the side of FNATIC, though, are going to go for a bit of a tier 1 push early on. The Edict will be popped already. Arfu going to threaten with the Bane, but now they'll turn around with the Burrow and the Split Earth connecting. They don't have the follow-up damage, though, for Arfu quite yet. He will Brain Sap, and he'll be okay. And in fact, he gets a Nightmare off onto Monet, onto Ice as well. Monet running forward, but doesn't actually have the dagger to throw out. And Ice, he'll Burrow Strike himself out of there. It looks like they are still chasing for DJ now, but he got the Edict off an Arfu. Got to be careful. He almost goes down, and he will in the end. He does end up getting DJ... Well, he does get Ice as a response on the Sand King, so it probably was worth him diving like that at the very least. He gets the core Sand King, but he does lose his life in the process.
It's definitely worthwhile. You're trading a support for the offlane who has been really rather annoying. You get a bit more from that. Your Spectre is around for the AoE gain as well. So RNG overall very happy with that trade. Still a fairly slow game, 4-1 at 7 minutes in. Not the fastest pace, but both teams are kind of running something that is, you know, it's a bit safer from RNG, and FNATIC definitely has tapered their pace as well.
Well, they did just get punished up at the top lane, which I imagine is why, though. Bot lane, they are going to try and make a plan to fly by, but he'll go for an immediate TP after the stun was consumed by MP. That will mean, however, of course, he can't soak XP or get gold in that bot lane. He TP'd right back to the base, and meanwhile, top lane, Burrow Strike is there on Monet. It is not enough in the end, however. This Spectre still able to tank quite a bit just with that Stout Shield and the Soul Ring. Wraith, the Wraith Band as well, of course. So Epicenter being used up early on by Ice. At the very least, it will force out the Shrine usage here from RNG up at the top lane.
It was a good attempt and fairly close, but Landam this time managed to save his carry with just Shadow.
There is a Haunt. They are trying to save down to the bot lane. Arfu going to be okay. Jabs gets a TP off in time. Got to be careful for the Fatal Bonds, though. MP still making a run for it, though. Flyby making the chase. He does have the Void available, but MP is still very tanky. They just won't bother. They couldn't get the Nightmare off in time on the Wraith King, and that's the target they really wanted.
I mean, they managed to defend that tier 1 for now, but they lose out in their tier 1 up top. That first haunted game really not working out quite too well for RNG, and
they may lose Setsu.
Setsu.
Does get sprouted up. Split Earth connects as well. Now the Chakram. It will take out all the refraction charges. Setsu trying to make a run for it, but he cannot get away. DJ being able to pick that one up for himself. You do have a rotation as well from Flyby, but he's going to get the hell out of there. There are 3 heroes around him. Looks like he'll just farm up a bit in that mid lane. They do lose that mid tier 1 as well. Arbed will be the one to claim that on the Timbersaw. And it looks like FNATIC are up and online, ready to go. No real reason for them to stay slow now. I mean, they've just got everything they wanted. And as it stands, I mean, you've got a Wraith King and a Timbersaw, both of which are so hard to kill that you're probably going to have to commit 3 or 4 heroes just on the one hero to try and get them.
It definitely turns out that way, and that's the beauty of FNATIC's draft. They want to play aggressive early on, and they can. And it's very hard to punish because you need to commit so much to just clean up these cores. And you don't really have the best burst damage from RNG right now.
Oh, Lan just trying to farm top lane, but he does get punished for it. Epicenter does come out. Jabs is there as well on the Nature's Prophet, and he'll be the one to claim the kill with the Treants. It's going to make it a 6-1, but a 4k net worth lead more importantly. Just not much they can do, right? Mid lane being pushed in by Arbed, top lane being pushed in by the rest. DJ there on the Leshrac and Jabs. Bot lane, looks like they do go into MP, but he has Reincarnation now, so you're only going to get one of his lives, and in fact, they won't even try to take that. Arfu turning around for a second. The dagger will find it, but now the slow is applied on Arfu. Can he get himself out? Probably not, although nice Nightmare dodge on the stun. He does Brain Sap as well, and that'll be enough for him to walk out of there safely. In fact, Fiend's Grip is there on Ice. Are they going to have the damage, though? It looks like they will now. Flyby will walk back in, and that was a very nice play. MP gets his TP cancelled as well, and it looks like he will lose his secondary life. And RNG just playing around the side of FNATIC, and they end up coming out on top. Very nice play indeed.
He managed to get the better punishment there, just really turning around with that read from FNATIC. They really just went in a bit too deep there. not finding the kills they wanted as well. That was pretty much down to Afu wasting so much time from MP. Just dodging that stun was enough. And once that was on cooldown, there's no way they were going to get the follow-up. So good play from RNG. That is a very pivotal kill for them. It's just that they lose out in the tier 2 while that happens. So it's not even the best win for them because they're losing map control as they find these kills.
Certainly are. LANM gotta be careful as well. Arbet making a bit of a chase onto that Warlock, but doesn't really have any way to hold him down. Meanwhile, Monet forced to farm up in the Radiant jungle. He will TP out of there immediately after that mid lane pushes in. Get much safer farm there. FNATIC, they are positioning themselves to take the final out of towers. They already get the tier 1 bot lane, and they can go for the tier 2 right now. They may not. They may just play safely, but again, at the very least, I don't see how you kill Arbet on the side of RNG yet.
You don't. You can't. You really just can't deal with this Timbersaw at this point. It's that time in the game where Timbersaw is just unkillable, untouchable. And contesting him is just kind of a death sentence.
Afu playing around on the Bane, though he's got to be very careful. LANM will cop a bit of a chakram, but he'll be okay as well. That tier 2 is still ticking down thanks to the treants, and of course, the Leshrac being played by DJ. Looks like Afu just being in the presence of Arbet is going to be enough for him to back out of there. Although, I say that, he does turn around. Nightmare will come out though, and Afu should be able to just walk out safely. But I can't say the same though for Flyby on the Night Stalker Epicenter. It will come out. Ice with the Sandstorm as well. Now the rest of the cavalry come in. Arbet claiming an easy kill for himself on the Night Stalker, and with that, they return straight back to that tier 2 tower.
And there's no stopping this push. Again, it's just FNATIC with their draft being able to play around early on. Gonna take the entire map away from RNG now. So they don't have any good spots to farm. You're already seeing Setsu, who has been farming in that Radiant jungle for a while because it's the safest spot for him to be in now.
Oh, Burrow Strike will be there on the Spectre mid lane. Monet can't get out of there. Afu trying to help, but can't really do anything on the Bane quite yet. And now his life is in trouble. Arbet on the high ground. He does get nightmared up. But even then, Ice with the body blocks, and they'll find another. And in fact, they found the TA now as well. Flyby, he commits the nighttime, and Golden Drop is there from LANM as well. They want to fight this. They will get Ice. Can they find DJ on the Leshrac? He starts the Pulse Nova, but the rest of the team are here now. And Flyby trying to back the hell out. LANM's Golem, though, still in the front lines, being very annoying. And Arbet is going to be the target. They will end up finding DJ just through those fatal bonds. Spectre Haunt now comes in as well. They really want this Timber. He's being very annoying though, and he goes to the TP play with the chains, but no, it's cancelled off. Arbet still running around. He gets Fiend's Grip now, but look how tanky he is, John. They will eventually find him. But it took 5 heroes and a lot of time to get that kill. They do get it in the end, but that's got to concern the side of RNG just a little bit.
It is a bit concerning, but at the same time, you're kind of happy you find those kills in the end, especially on Abed. So it just goes to show that with enough bodies, you will be able to find those kills. It's just that you're going to have to commit all these bodies every single time. You're going to have to commit that golem drop every single time. You're going to have to commit the Fiend's Grip for going for those kills. So if you don't have those tools, it's a very different story.
Ooh, MP gonna be in trouble. Getting chased down right now. They will find Afu down in the mid lane though. MP still being chased down by Monet and Flyby, but here comes Ice. They will get the reincarnation life, but Epicenter coming out. Ice. He had no blink yet and he didn't burrow in. In fact, he didn't have mana for it. Jabs, he will find the Sprout, but the Spectral Dagger will allow him to just walk out of there. So a slight mistake from Ice on the Sand King, not understanding he had just enough mana for the Epi, but not quite for the burrow. At the very least, it only costs them the reincarnation.
You're not going to be too unhappy if you're FNATIC with that. Again, you just trade away, what, 2 ultimates for no kills? Yeah, you're pretty glad you're not giving more to RNG. You're still finding farm around the map, and again, you've got every single bit of control. So RNG is the one under pressure to find those kills, and every time you don't give them those kills, it gets harder and harder for them to find that space. And it looks like FNATIC is starting to posture themselves around that Roshan now as well. No vision from RNG to spot this out, so gonna be a free Rosh, it looks like, for FNATIC.
They don't have the Haunt anyway. Like, even if they wanted to try and counter this, you've still got over a minute left for that Haunt cooldown. Afu, though, will break his smoke near the Roshan, so they know they're there. But again, do you even bother trying? Afu. They will scan out as well. Jabs will be the one in the scan, and now Flyby will fly his way in. It looks like they would have been happy with an Aegis still, but the Roshan wasn't that low quite yet. Flyby. Jabs gets his TP cancelled off. That will mean the T1 tower can now safely go down thanks to Setsu on that TA. I say that, the rest of FNATIC moving in, and they found Setsu. The Sprout is there, Ice setting up with the burrow, and Setsu gonna end up losing his life in the end. He thought it was safe with that Jabs TP cancel. Turns out it wasn't.
You really can't afford to overextend. I mean, that wasn't even an overextension, right? They knew they were in the Roach Pit at some point. You figure it's all clear. You have your Night Stalker watching that area of the map. It's still not enough. FNATIC just knows these openings, comes in at the right time, and punishes. You're riding a lot on the back of this TA, finding that early farm, finding the aggression. Still needs to pick up that Desolator. And it's still about, 1,600 away, 1,800 away from that complete item. Without that, your damage is still kind of lacking outside of your ultimates.
Kind of like the fact that you see the Valve Discord, though, coming out from LAN-M, just amplifying those Fatal Bonds. In fact, they are going to go into Arbed. You slow him up, though. 3-man Burrow Strike. Ice setting up. Split Earth comes in. They'll drop the Golem, and now the Horn comes out as well. But there's no damage being dealt to Arbed. He'll just chain out of there. LAN-M goes down, and now they want more. Arbed misses the chains, though. FNATIC looking to move in for that mid-tier 3 tower.
Ooh.
Be a buyback coming out from LAN-M, but he can really only throw out those Fatal Bonds at this point. The Golem was already dropped. See down to the bot T1. Monet just farming up, trying to get that T1 tower. Ice dove a bit too deep, and now will get punished. In fact, no, they're going to go after Flyby instead. He's trying to get out of that Chakram, and he will. And it looks like he will survive for another day. FNATIC, I doubt they'll stick around after that tier 3 tower. That's all they want right now, but they won't even find that. It looks like the upheaval from the Warlock was enough to scare them off. And of course, Monet, he did eventually end up claiming that tier 1 tower as well down at the bot lane. So RNG may be happy with this, but Ice now looking to set up. Blink, he does kind of go the right way and finds the burrow with the Epicenter and Sandstorm as well. Monet gets used up before the dagger comes out, and now DJ gonna set up with the Split Earth, and Jabs is there as well. So RNG probably happy for a second, but eventually they do lose the most precious hero they could in the Spectre.
Yeah, it's not going out too well for RNG again. You are seeing some decent progression on this Spectre, despite how bad the game has been going for RNG. Still has that Sacred Relic up just about, I want to say, 500 gold away from the recipe. So you're going to have a pretty decent timing, all things considered, in that Radiance from the Spectre. It still doesn't feel like it's enough. You're going to be needing that Manta style as well, just for the added stats, and for being able to get away from any sort of hang-ups. And, that's still a fair bit of gold away. Still have to play around that Haunt cooldown as well, which FNATIC has been really abusing for the most part. So, a lot of things to still watch out for RNG, despite having that decent recovery on the Spectre.
MP gonna get spotted by Flyby, but is not really scared at all of this Night Stalker. And Flyby just forced to back out, though. Now DJ moving forward. Setsu gotta be very careful with his positioning here. If DJ, he can get that Yules off. Would be a dead TA, but no, he does TP out. Flyby will do the same. Can they spot him out? Not quite in time. That last bit of farm that Setsu got does allow him to get that Desolator up. So, not the fastest timing in the world for the TA, but it is certainly going to help just a little bit for the side of RNG.
Again, it gives them that needed damage in these fights. You also see the Radiance being picked up by Monet this time around, so he's going to have that available for him in the next Haunt, which is up. And you are starting to see these tools come in for RNG. The question is it going to be enough? Is the damage at this point enough to take out Abed? Are you going to be able to burn through 2 lives of MP? And honestly, it feels like RNG still has that potential in them. It's a 6k lead for FNATIC, sure. 14-6 at 21 minutes in. Not the most dominant lead yet. It's still a significant enough lead for FNATIC. But you haven't slowed down the Spectre too much. You take a look at net worth. It's actually being led by Setsu right now, and Monet is actually 3rd place. So the cores you want farm on are still finding that farm. And FNATIC, their lineup really has a timer.
Oh, Ice misses the Burrow Strike on Arfu, but gets the Yules off, but they want Flyby instead. But here comes that Horn with the Fatal Bonds. The Golem drop as well. They will find Jabs that go after Arbet next, but Arbet finds Lan M. Meanwhile, in the mid, DJ ends up falling, and now they will find Arfu as well. Now, Burrow Strike. Ice. Burrow Epicenter comes out. It's not going to be enough. They've lost Arbet on the Timber. He's going after Setsu, but look at the damage he's dealing. Never mind. MP comes in. They found the Rod of Atos on Flyby, but he flies out. And Monet trying to find Ice, and he does in the end, but MP not going to allow him to go for free. In fact, Jabs being chased down by Lanham's Golden. He will be able to TP out, but they found MP on the Wraith King.
Oh god.
He didn't have mana for the reincarnation.
He was swapping into Mango. It was on cooldown right then. He was walking back and forth with that Golem. Man, your HP's not that high. And in the end, I guess RNG wins that one, but it's a very tight one. It does end up being a full team wipe from FNATIC, not counting that buyback from Jabs. So again, a bit of a win for RNG. That was a great reveal of that Radiance. Funny enough, that was also MP's Radiance reveal as well. And in the end, it does work out a bit better for RNG. Could have been FNATIC's win if they didn't lose out on MP. Again, just playing tag with that Golem, not a great idea. And swapping that Mango in just a bit too late. Just a bit too late. Doesn't get that mana in and just kind of dies.
Well, it looks like that'll force FNATIC to go back to that Roshan pit. Understanding RNG just got a hell of a lot stronger. And they will try to swipe this Roshan from underneath the noses of RNG before they kind of get wind of what's going on. Of course, they don't have that Haunt either, so they may not opt to fight this. They don't even know. No wards around that Roshan pit to tell RNG that they're here.
It's down from that cooldowns as well, right? When that Golem drop, when the Haunt is down, you have a massive opening for FNATIC to exploit. And that just means free Roshans, free objectives, farming the enemy jungle if you want. This time around, it is that free Roshan. Again, no response from RNG, no wards to spot it out, no ultimates to fight with. So they just can't do anything about it.
They might find Jabs down at the bot lane. It looks like they're going to try and force a bit of a fight here, but they're just waiting right now for someone to show up and farm this bot lane farm. Nobody going there quite yet. MP, meanwhile, running past Arfu in that invis. Arfu. It's a game plan here, just scouting out for his team. Luckily for him, no sentry wards around that Radiant jungle. FNATIC look to be setting up in that mid lane, but they do start to head down bot as well. They'll smoke up on their own now. I'm not sure RNG even know of this because they don't have any wards scouting that out. They may be aware though because Arfu now not going to be able to find MP on that Wraith King. In fact, they will go for Jabs down at the bot lane. It looks like Flyby going to get started with that nighttime and the Haunt being used as well, but this is very early on. They'll go for that kill instead, so Jabs ends up going down and the rest of FNATIC actually not interested in fighting anymore. A lot of damage being dealt to the side of FNATIC just from that Horn and the Golem drop. Looks like that'll be enough.
That was a valiant effort from FNATIC to try and clear out Monet. That was a good stun, good follow-up, just not enough. You need a lot more control now on that Spectre because you can't just burn through that HP as fast as you did before. The Radiance is starting to cause issues as well, and the Warlock Golem is doing good damage now, especially since you have that Veil from Lan M. So all of these tools are available from RNG, and that net worth lead is down to just 3k for FNATIC. Again, it's still a good amount of gold, but you look at the cores, you look at their farm. FNATIC is starting to fall behind in terms of their cores. You have 12k on MP, you have 13k on Monet and Setsu. So you are falling behind on these cores, and RNG's cores are much better geared for that late game. Right? So we're reaching the point where they're starting to come online, and you're losing momentum with your early to mid game heroes. You're losing momentum with Wraith King, you're losing momentum with Timbersaw, and when these heroes fall behind, you don't get as much out of them in that late.
Well, they're going to try again, John. There is a smoke coming out. Ice on that Sand King with DJ. MP going to be behind him with Arbet. Top lane Monet, that's the target they want though. Can they find it? Epicenter being committed. Burrow in as well. They have found the main target. Split Earth as well. It's a lot of damage coming up, but Monet's still not dead. They'll finally get him with Arbet, but now a full-blown team fight going to start. Setsu moving forward with Flyby. They go straight after Jabs on that Prophet. They also found the reincarnation life of the Wraith King. MP going to turn around now. A 1-for-1 trade, but FNATIC certainly found the better trade so far. Abed will be nightmared up on the Timber. A lot of BKB usages there as well from RNG, so now FNATIC may feel confident, especially without that Spectre buyback to go for this push. They are going to get started. Fortification will come out. Because you do still have the Aegis available on Abed as well. They will get the tier 3 tower though. Do they go for more? Upheaval comes out, and once again, after that tier 3, they're just more than happy to get out and go get those shrines.
There's really not too much they can do. It's fairly annoying trying to push up against a Warlock. That upheaval just slows you down so much, it makes it very dangerous to go for those pushes. We have yet to see any sort of BKBs from FNATIC as well. I think that's going to be the next item to watch out for, as RNG has already revealed theirs. So, you know they've popped theirs.
Monet gonna jump in by himself. He gives the vision on MP, and now the TP cancelled off. He did have reincarnation. It was just used in the mid lane. A great play coming out from RNG. Now they want more. Flyby will not find anybody else, but still, finding that position 1 Wraith King certainly going to make the side of the Dire very, very happy.
Definitely so. Again, you are starting to lose space in FNATIC. When you lose your Skeleton King like that, your Wraith King, it's just not good news. They're going to lose their tier 1 up top as well. No contest. And RNG is starting to claw their way back into this game with proper haunt uses, proper rotations, and proper itemization, really just finding the farm, whereas FNATIC doesn't punish as much as they did in Game 1.
Well, they are going to go ahead and claim that bot shrine while they can, so FNATIC did leave the top one alone once that haunt came in, but at least they get the bot one. Monet got the mantra up now. Going to go for the Heart of Tarrasque next, and that's going to make their lives so much harder. Because you saw how much commitment was necessary just for that one Spectre kill up the top lane. Once he's got a Heart up, how do you even take this man down anymore?
At this point, you probably won't. Yeah, you don't have the damage on the Wraith King. He doesn't have anything really big besides that Radiance right now. You don't really have the greatest magic damage coming out anymore. I mean, you would be able to use something like a Veil. Even then, that's just not enough at this point, especially with all the HP on Monet. Again, working on that heart, he already has his level 20 talent as well, which is plus 500 HP, so it's a lot to eat through. You don't really have enough time to burn a hero like that down in the team fight.
It looks like FNATIC will just commit to try and take that top shrine now. Nobody around to defend that at all. All ultimates are up from the side of RNG, so they might be just ready to fight right here, right now as well. But perhaps waiting for FNATIC to make the move. Setsu going to show himself mid lane. Lan M does get his smoke broken as well as Arfu. They are still going to rotate in though. Flyby has his smoke active. Very long wrap around here. They are going to find Ice on the Sand King, but again, he blinks out. So you're missing all your targets for the moment. RNG eventually won't really get anything out of this smoke. Although, they will get a stun off onto Arfu on that Bane. No follow-up coming out, RNG. They weren't in position to try and defend. Now Ice goes after the Warlock, which is really the main problem with this high ground. Lan M gonna end up falling, though. The BKB was popped as well as the Haunt. Monet will come in, goes after DJ and does find him. They'll go after the Wraith King as well, so MP loses his first life. Now Jab is being chased down, but no, they'll turn around back after that Wraith King. Epicenter, though, comes out with the Burrow. They go straight after Setsu, and they will find the TA as well. Monet still trying to chase MP and find that secondary life. He does cop the stun. Arbed comes in as well, though. Flyby manages to find Jabs on the Nature's Prophet. Monet now, can he get out? He just wants to go back in. MP ends up finally losing his life. Ice now really can't do much. He will throw out the Spirit Vessel onto the Spectre Monet. And it looks like that'll be the end of that. Now, who really came out on top in terms of that team fight, though? It looks like it was RNG. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with RNG here. Again, FNATIC, they're just not getting anything from their course anymore. They've got to find a space to itemize. They've got to be able to get these damage items out now because they're very durable, they're not killing anyone besides the supports and maybe the TA if they overextend like we saw in the last time. But the rest of your team has no response, Une. And he has a heart now. So that's 4k HP. What do you do about this? I don't know. I don't know what FNATIC can do with what they have right now. They need time and space to get a response in terms of itemization. It's just that RNG is finally online, and they're not going to be giving that space easily to FNATIC.
Interesting pickup choices here as well, coming up from Flyby. He goes for the Aghanim Scepter on the Night Stalker, so now you have that AoE Void available. Could be very, very useful, especially because RNG, they don't have too many ways of actually disabling. Just that mini-stun against the TPing heroes could be very, very useful indeed. Of course, the heart, like you mentioned, already out on Monet now as well, sitting at 4.2k HP, and it's only going to get worse as he's going for an Eye of Skadi next. Just that return damage that was being dealt back the way of FNATIC was so darn high. FNATIC, at least for the moment, starting to position themselves around that Roshan pit. It is about 35 seconds away now. Monet, gonna run up the hill. Gonna see Jabs TPing out. Even Setsu now, finding a nullifier on that Templar Assassin. FNATIC still having the net worth lead by 4k for their side of things, but it just doesn't feel that way at all. Have a look at that win probability, and it is currently the way of RNG. 63% for the Dire. That is the age-old Spectre effect coming in. Was the mid-tier 1. Also getting denied off by Jabs now, so no gold going to RNG for that, but they won't mind too much. Burrow Strike is there onto Flyby, though Horn comes out, and now the Golem Drop as well. This could be really disastrous for FNATIC. Looks like Monet was chasing Ice, but instead we'll go back after the Timbersaw Arbed, and he will end up finding him. MP as well, losing his reincarnation life, probably going to lose a secondary as well. There's not really any way for him to run, so he's just going to try and fight while he can. He does try to run in the end, but Setsu will find him, and now they found another Jabs. Going to be on that Nature's Prophet. Not for long, though. He is down. In RNG, perfect position for them to try and start pushing down some tier 2 towers.
Yeah, they've set themselves up quite well. Again, they have that Golem, it's still up. Going to be able to do some good damage here, and FNATIC has no response. Their cores are just dying. These tanky cores that were impossible to kill 15 minutes ago. Paper. They don't do damage. They don't do anything living. Their lives are useless. Worthless lives, Mike. And they really need to fix that. They need to find purpose. They need to find damage. Find a way to get back in. I'm surprised we haven't seen more BKBs coming out to at least stop the control.
FNATIC don't have any buybacks available right now. RNG gonna go ahead and clean up an easy top racks for themselves. They couldn't actually go for any other lane because the creep waves were pushed out and you couldn't get the tier 2 tower. But still, that top racks, considering the start they had in this game number 2, is going to be enough, I'm sure, for RNG. As well as that as well, you've got the Roshan available right now, so they're not too aware of it, but once they are, it's going to be a great target for them to take.
And you take a look at that net worth now, Mike. It's a 4k lead for RNG. Those bounty runes really helping the cause as well with those pickups. And you've seen the tables really turn. You're starting to see RNG hit their timings. Now you start to see FNATIC feeling a bit of pressure to end this game, to get that high ground. Clear out these racks, and to close out a clean game 2 for themselves in the best of 3. But RNG is just not making that happen again. It's reaching that point where RNG is basically online, fully online. And when a Spectre is fully online, it takes a very specific draft to counteract it. FNATIC, with what they have right now, it's still lacking. It still has a lot of holes to fill in, especially in these team fights now. They will be going for the Roshan, though.
Can they claim it fast enough, though? You've got that Haunt available on Monet, so you can always throw that out, and they do scan it out. There should be a Haunt coming very, very soon. And there it is. So that should scare off Fnatic. They're copying a fair bit of damage, but no, they'll go for the Roshan, and now Monet, he TP's in. The Aegis on the deck, but Monet gets it as well. The Spectre has the Aegis to make matters worse for Fnatic, and with that, MP gonna end up losing his life. That's the reincarnation going down. Monet may end up losing the Aegis, though maybe not. He will finally go down. MP, though, even lower. He loses his life. Arfu gonna be in trouble due to that epicenter, but no, not even that. Arbet, he's the one in trouble. Nice Spiral Strike coming out from Ice, but now the Golden Drop comes out from LAN. They find Jabs just through the Fatal Bonds, and now they find Ice on the Sand King as well. 3 buybacks not going to be available for Fnatic. What a steal, though, coming out from Monet on the Spectre.
I'm surprised he managed to get away with it. Again, he was standing right in the middle of everyone. The initial stuns were expended before Roshan died. So of course he's going to be able to steal it when the stun's off. And unfortunately, he's the best here to have it. You have to kill the Spectre twice over, go through almost 5k HP. Twice, maybe even thrice over with that cheese as well. And again, you just don't have that capability in Fnatic. You're going to lose at least one set of racks, possibly 2 if they rotate to that tier 2 fast enough. Doesn't look that way though, but that's still a massive amount of control going away. They're going to go for those tier 4s.
I don't blame them. They jump straight on to DJ on that left track. DJ copying a lot of damage. Ghost Scepter will come in handy, though. They've caught Arbed with the Fiend's Grip as well. Arbed probably going to go down, and does. There will be a buyback coming out from the Timber. RNG, are they actually going to back off here? Still 2 heroes down, but they are respawning rather soon. LANM just going to 4-staff out. LANM might actually end up dying, and he does. Arbed, he gets the Yules off, and Jabs now finding the Sprout on Monet. Can they actually find this Spectre, though? LANM already losing his life. Monet still so darn tanky. Another Sprout coming out. Arbed still moving forward. Though Burrow Strike will come out as well with the Sandstorm. This could be a massive kill if they can find it. But now Monet, he'll turn around and go for the team fight instead. MP falling low. Arfu, he will lose his life. So now 3 heroes available for RNG. They do find DJ, though. Ice, he'll go down as well. Setsu in trouble. He'll BKB up with the Refraction. There's the Reincarnation Life going down. And Arbed now going to be the target on the Timber. He's not as tanky as you'd remember. And they found MP on the Wraith King as well. His second life going to end up being forfeit. Jabs, he TP'd in. He wanted to be part of the party, but the party's over. Jabs goes down. The GG call's been made. And RNG even this series out 1-1.
They found... Look, Fnatic found that early game to mid game they wanted. They couldn't clear that high ground, and we mentioned it in draft. When you have a Wraith King, when you have a